Hey guys, welcome back to the GTI. It is Tuesday, I think the 10th. January is flying by so fast, which is fine by me. As sooner spring comes, the better. Update on the GTI. I'm exactly at 606 miles right now, so all done with the break-in period. It's 600 miles, or 1,000 kilometers, I guess you would say. So the break-in period is done. I can start having some fun, so I can start really getting in and testing the car, especially over the next 3 or 4 days. We just came out of like almost an 8-inch snowstorm. I think it was on Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday was pretty brutal as far as cold-wise. Monday was pretty cold, but the next 3 or 4 days are going to be almost hitting 50 degrees, so I definitely have to take us out for a drive. Okay, this video, 5 things I dislike about the GTI. My last video, which was 7 things I love about the GTI, I was trying to figure out 7 things that I dislike. I couldn't find 7. Literally, I couldn't find 7. That's no joke. So let's start. Number 1 would have to be the touchscreen. Now, the new infotainment system on the Mark 7s is really great compared to my Mark 6. Massively upgraded, especially with Apple CarPlay, what I really love. But the touchscreen is actually, and I forget exactly what they call it, is what all cell phones are. In other words, you can't use a gloved finger on the touchscreen. It actually has to be a bare finger. I'll put it down the bottom here as far as exactly what that's called. That kind of sucks, especially at this time of year. Whereas my Mark 6, you could use a gloved hand, you could use whatever, and it would still work. Whereas this one you can't, and I believe it's mainly because they're adding in, a lot of scrolling capabilities, stuff like that, which, it's really kind of difficult with the gloved hand and that other type of touch screen, which I believe is called a capacitive screen, I think is what the older one was called. So anyways, so that is number 1, that's the touch screen, especially this time of year. It's kind of a pain in the butt to take off your gloves every time you need to use the touch screen. So that's number 1. Number 2, number 2 would have to be, this is kind of difficult. It is the 4 doors, okay? Now, I've always been a 2-door GTI guy, and I love the look of the 2 doors. But unfortunately for 2017 and specifically 2018, and when I say specifically, for 2017 there are still a few 2 doors left, but they are technically 2016 models because they don't have Apple CarPlay, so they don't have the upgraded infotainment system, and a few other little things. So they're calling them 2017s, I think, just to get rid of a lot of the 2 doors that they have left, but technically they're 2016s. So that's the reason why I didn't get it, mainly because I wanted Apple CarPlay. But after having this for a month and a half now, the 4 doors has actually grown on me. There isn't really any difference when you're driving it. When you're driving it, you really can't tell, compared to my Mark 6, which I still have, and that's a 2-door. You can't tell. The only thing that I can tell is that this B pillar right here is in my line of sight when I look to the left. Because I'm so short, actually, I sit kind of close to the steering wheel, so it's not obstructing my view, but I still see it. Whereas the Mark 6, the front doors, of course, are longer, so the B pillar doesn't even come into my view. But I have to admit, it has become convenient when you're getting stuff like you go shopping, you get groceries, or you just have, if I have some camera gear with me or something like that. It is nice to just pop one of the rear doors and just toss it in the rear seat rather than having to, pop the hatch, put it all in the hatch, close the hatch, stuff like that. So I've actually been using the hatch less, and using the rear doors more as far as groceries and stuff like that. So, and also on the advantage side, it is a little bit longer. When we were moving and I put down the rear seats, there's more room there than than the 2-door, which is convenient. But the outside looks, it just doesn't flow right to me with the 4 doors. But that's okay. It works fine, and it didn't override my decision as far as actually buying the car. So that's number 2. Number three would have to be the wheels. I'm okay with the design. At least it's something a little bit more unique and different than the typical Austin wheels, which come with all Mark 7s, you know, since 2015. So that's nice. It's a little bit of a change up, but they're really too skinny. You know, they're 18-inch wheels, but they're 7.5. It looks kind of funny when you're looking from the rear. You know, they are kind of skinny wheels and tires. On my Mark 6, I've had 18 by 8.5 wheels on it in the you know, in the summertime, and in the wintertime I have 17 by 8 wheels, I think, something like that. So I'm kind of used to seeing the GTI with a little bit thicker of a wheel. So this one with the stock wheels, it looks kind of funny, but it's great in the wintertime. Don't get me wrong, these are definitely going to be my default winter setup, so I'll hold on to them for now. And then springtime, you know, I'll look for an 18 by 8.5 set. So that's number 3. That's the wheels. On to number 4. Let's see. Number 4 would have to be the paddle shifters. And it's the actual physical shifters themselves, not the transmission, not the dual clutch transmission. I absolutely love that. I've talked about that in other videos. But the paddle shifters are still these dinky things, like they have been, you know, forever on Volkswagen. Also on Audi too, I think. It's these little dinky tabs, really. They're not really paddles, they're like tabs. And so I got, like on my Mark 6, I got paddle extensions. You know, just a quick $20 on eBay. Was able to find some nice paddle extensions, throw them on. I think I'm going to invest in full replacements pretty soon, which is you actually remove the actual you know, the actual little tabs, the little paddles, and fully put in, you know, rather than these extensions, which are just on top of the existing paddles. Number 5, last but not least, is on the Sport model, which is new for 2017, the Sport model GTI. I've explained in other videos as far as what comes with it. I like it. It's a great package between the S and the SE. You know, for what you get for the money, it's a great value package. So, unfortunately, though, it doesn't come with fog lights, and you know, that's a disappointment. I kind of like the look of the fog lights, but you know, it does come with the lighting package, which of course is the bi-xenon headlights, as well as the LED running lights, which are pretty cool looking. But I kind of miss the fog lights. Now, you can buy them from Volkswagen. You can install them yourselves. I think the wiring is still there. I'm not sure it's already there, but you just have to plug and play, because the switch over here on the left does have the fog light switch, just like on my Mark 6. It has 2 settings. It has the fog lights, and then it has the full headlight set up with the fog lights. But it's like $400 or $500 for these you know, for these fog lights from Volkswagen. So, you know, I'll think about it. It doesn't really bug me that much as far as clarity, as far as seeing stuff. The existing headlights are working perfectly fine, so we'll see. So that's it. That was my 5 things that I dislike about the GTI. Again, nothing I hate about the GTI. Love driving it. Now over 600 miles, so I can really start having some fun with it. And you know, some videos to come as far as that type of driving, as far as what I think about that type of driving. I also have one coming up with the OBD11 device, which allows you to do a lot of tweaking to the you know, to the car. Something that in the past you would have to use a VADCOM and a computer and some coding and stuff like that. The OBD11 is a really great, inexpensive device to use, so I'll try that. I'll also go through like CarPlay and go through more stuff like that. I also want to thank you guys, because it took me from, now my channel, if you go to my channel, it's quote-unquote started in August of 2015, but my first real video wasn't uploaded until July 20th, 2016, and of course that was a video of the delivery of my Cayman. That's when I really launched the channel. That was like 100, and on Sunday, this past Sunday, I went over 500 subscribers. Again, awesome. Thanks guys for doing that. I really appreciate it. But what's amazing to me is that it took me from July 20th up until this past Sunday, which I did the math, it's 172 days to get to 500 subscribers. Now from Sunday until today, and today is Tuesday, I've now gone over 600 subscribers. So I've got 100 subscribers in 2 days. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy, but I love it, and it gives me more drive, you know, to do more videos. And maybe if I get, you know, if I get to that 1,000 or 2,000 subscriber range, maybe that's something that I can actually bring to dealerships and say, hey, listen, you know, I have all these subscribers. They can see your video. I can go to them and say, hey, listen, I see you have the new Audi RS3. Would you mind if I just took it for like an hour test drive by myself, and I'll film it, you know, film a review. I'll give you guys a plug at the end of the video. You know, that's something, the more subscribers that you have, the more that you can bring to a dealership and say, hey, let me do this, and they'll allow you to do it. So maybe I can do a lot more reviews of different cars, which is what I would love to do, because I can only do so many, you know, so many videos of a GTI, and obviously you can't keep on buying new cars every 6 to 10 months just to do more YouTube videos, although there's a lot of YouTubers that do it, you know, but those guys have quite a bit of money. So again, thanks for all the subscribers, and thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the, you know, if you could like the video, that would be awesome. If you could subscribe, that would be great. And stay tuned for more to come. Thanks.